Your eyeliner is aging you, and I can prove it in 60 seconds. If you're over 50 and you're still applying eyeliner the exact same way you did in your 30s and 40s, you are making yourself look older every single morning. Not on purpose. Not because you don't know what you're doing, but because nobody ever told you that the rules changed. Your face changed. Your skin changed. Your eyes changed. And your eyeliner technique needs to change too. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will change the way you see yourself in the mirror, starting today. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Every single week, this channel publishes content made specifically for women who are done being ignored by the mainstream beauty industry. Real techniques, real results, no filters, no professional lighting tricks, no content made for someone half your age. If that sounds like what you have been looking for, hit that subscribe button right now. It is free. It takes 2 seconds. And I promise you, you'll want to come back every single week. Now let me show you exactly what is going wrong. And I want you to really listen to this part, because this is where most women have their first real moment of clarity. There are 3 outdated eyeliner rules that the majority of women over 50 are still following. And each one of them is quietly working against your face every single day. The first outdated rule is drawing a full continuous line from your inner corner all the way to your outer corner. This technique was designed for young, taut eyelids that stay flat when the eye is open. But after 50, when your lid has any degree of hooding, that full line gets compressed, folded, and dragged downward the moment you open your eye. Instead of defining your lash line, it creates a heavy dark band that pushes your eye shape down. It makes you look tired. It makes you look stern. And it makes your eyes appear significantly smaller than they actually are. The second outdated rule is defaulting to black eyeliner. Black was our go-to for decades, and I understand why. It's bold, it's classic, and it feels safe. But on mature skin, black creates a level of contrast that is simply too sharp. It draws immediate attention to texture, to fine lines, to every place on your lid where the skin is no longer perfectly smooth. It competes with your eye instead of complementing it. And the result is that people see your liner before they see your eyes. That is the opposite of what we want. The third outdated rule, and this one surprises people the most, is lining the waterline with dark liner to add definition. I know, you've been told this adds drama, but what it actually does on mature eyes is close the eye down entirely. It makes the white of your eye look smaller. It makes you look more tired, not less. And for women who already have some natural hooding, it can make the eye look almost half closed. It is one of the fastest ways to add years to your face without realizing it. Which one of these 3 mistakes have you been making? One of them? 2? All 3? Drop your answer below, because I read every single comment on this channel, and I want to know where you're starting from. There is no wrong answer. There is no judgment here. This is a space where we are all learning together. And if right now you are thinking, I have been doing all 3 of these my entire adult life. First of all, you are not alone. Second of all, that is actually good news, because it means that what I am about to teach you is going to make an immediately visible difference the very first time you try it. Sometimes the biggest transformations come from fixing the most basic mistakes. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, do it right now. Not at the end of the video. Right now. Because you're going to want to save this. You're going to want to come back to it. And you're going to want to be here next week when I show you the lip color mistakes that are doing the exact same thing to your mouth that the wrong liner is doing to your eyes. Subscribe. The bell too. So YouTube actually puts this content in front of you when it goes live. I want you to pay close attention, because this technique is completely different from anything you have been taught before. Not slightly different. Completely different. So if you have been doing your eyeliner the same way for the last 20 or 30 years, I need you to set all of that aside for the next few minutes and come with me with an open mind. Because what works at 25 does not work at 55. And once you see why, you will never go back. Step 1. Prep the lid. And no, you cannot skip this. Before one single drop of liner touches your eye, you need to prime your lid. And I already know what some of you are thinking. I don't use primer. I never have. And my makeup looks fine. I hear you. But here is the reality. Mature skin, especially the skin on and around your eyelids, is more porous, more textured, and more prone to absorbing and breaking down makeup throughout the day. Without a primer, your liner is essentially sitting on a surface that is actively working to dissolve it. By mid-morning, it is fading. By afternoon, it has settled into your fine lines. By evening, it has either smudged or disappeared entirely. That is not a product problem. That is a prep problem. Here is exactly how to prime correctly for mature eyes. Use a lightweight eye primer, not your foundation, not your concealer, not a heavy cream. A dedicated eye primer. Apply it using only your ring finger, not your index finger, not a brush, your ring finger. It applies the least amount of pressure of any finger on your hand, and the skin around your eye is some of the most delicate skin on your entire body. Pat it on gently, across the full lid, along the lash line, and just slightly beneath the lower lash. You are creating a smooth, even surface that your liner will grip onto and stay on all day without budging. This one step alone will make your liner look better for longer than any expensive liner formula ever could. Do not skip it. Step 2. Choose the right color. And it is probably not what you think. Black eyeliner is not your friend after 50. I said it in the first part of this video, and I will say it again here because it bears repeating. Black is too stark, too harsh, too unforgiving on mature skin. But here's the good news. There are colors that will make your specific eye color look more vivid, more alive, and more defined than black ever did. And once you find your color, you will wonder why you ever reached for black in the first place. If you have brown eyes, reach for a soft espresso brown or a warm bronze. It adds definition without fighting your natural coloring and brings a warmth to your eyes that black simply cannot create. If you have blue eyes, charcoal gray, or a deep slate is your answer. It makes the blue in your eyes appear more saturated and vibrant. It does not compete with your eye color. It amplifies it. If you have green eyes, deep forest brown or a rich burgundy will pull out every fleck of gold and warmth in your iris. Green eyes paired with brown liner look absolutely stunning in a way that takes people a moment to identify. They just know your eyes look incredible. If you have hazel eyes, you are sitting on a gold mine, and most women with hazel eyes do not even realize it. A deep plum or a warm copper will bring out every layer of color in your eye. Hazel eyes change depending on what color surrounds them, and a good liner exploits that beautifully. If you have very dark brown or deep brown eyes, try a rich chocolate or a deep navy instead of black. You still get intensity and definition, but without the harshness. The result looks polished and intentional rather than heavy. The rule is simple. Your liner serves your eyes. Your liner does not serve your outfit. It does not serve your eyeshadow. It does not serve your lipstick. It serves your eyes. And your eye color is the only thing that should determine which color you reach for. Step 3. The dot technique. This is the one that changes everything. Are you ready? Because this is it. This is the technique. And I need you to understand something before I explain it. We are not drawing a line. We will never draw a line again. What we are doing instead is creating a shadow. And there is a massive difference between the two. Here is exactly what you do. Pick up your pencil liner. Hold it the way you would hold a regular writing pencil. Relax grip. No tension. Start at the outer third of your lash line. Not the inner corner. The outer third. And beginning there, press small individual dots directly into the root of your lashes, right where the lash meets the skin. You're not dragging. You're not stroking. You are pressing and lifting. Dabide, moving slowly inward toward the center of your lid. Do not worry about making the dots perfect. Do not try to connect them. Do not try to make them uniform in size or spacing. Slight irregularity is actually what makes this look natural. You are not creating a technical drawing. You are mimicking the way natural shadow falls at the base of a lash line. And the moment you start doing it, even before you blend, you will notice that your lashes already appear fuller and darker. Not because you drew a line, but because you place color exactly where shadow naturally lives. Now here's what separates this technique from everything else out there: the blend. Take a small flat brush or a simple cotton swab. Either one works perfectly. And using small, gentle strokes moving outward toward the outer corner, soften those dots. You are not erasing them. You are not wiping them away. You are softening the edges so the color transitions seamlessly into your skin. Watch what happens when you do this. The harsh individual dots disappear, and what remains is a soft, defined shadow right at the base of your lashes. It looks like you naturally have fuller, darker, more defined lashes. There is no visible liner. There is no hard edge. There is just the impression of beautifully defined eyes. And if you blend and feel like you've lost too much intensity, add 2 more dots and blend again. If it feels too intense, one clean swab softens it immediately. You are always in complete control of this technique. It does not get away from you. It does not require a steady hand or years of practice. It is genuinely forgiving in a way that traditional liner application never is. Now I want to pause here for a second because I know some of you watching right now have been struggling with this exact problem for years. You apply your liner. It looks good in the mirror. You open your eyes fully, and it is just gone, vanished, like you never applied it at all. If that is you, I need you to comment below right now and tell me, because what I am about to share next is specifically for you. It is the step that most makeup artists do not even include in their tutorials. And it is the single reason your liner keeps disappearing. It is coming up right after this. But first, if this video is giving you something you have never gotten from a beauty tutorial before, something that actually speaks to the eyes you have right now, not the eyes you had 25 years ago, then this channel deserves your subscription. Hit that button right now while you're thinking about it, because the women who get the most out of this channel are the ones who show up every week. And next week's video is something I have genuinely never seen anyone else cover in this space. You do not want to miss it. Subscribe and turn the bell on so YouTube makes sure you see it the moment it goes live. Step 4. The transition shade. The secret nobody talks about. This is what I promised you. This is the step that solves the disappearing liner problem permanently. And once you understand why it works, it will make complete sense. When your eyelid hoods, even slightly, and you apply a liner directly to the lash line, the moment you open your eye fully, that hooded skin folds down over the liner and covers it. The liner is still there. You just cannot see it anymore because skin is sitting on top of it. And no amount of darker liner or thicker application fixes this. You cannot out-intense a structural issue. What you can do is work around it. Take a matte eyeshadow in a shade 1 or 2 steps deeper than your natural skin tone. Think warm taupe, soft mushroom, light mocha, nothing dramatic, nothing that reads as eyeshadow from across the room. Using a fluffy blending brush, apply this shade directly above where your liner sits, into the crease of your lid, and blend it upward and slightly outward. What this does is create a gradient, a soft, natural deepening of color that begins at your lash line and transitions gently upward. So even when your hooded lid folds down and covers the liner itself, the transition shade is still visible. The definition is still there. Your eyes still look sculpted and awake. The liner did not disappear. It just handed the work off to the shade above it. This technique also does something else that I want you to notice. It gives your eye dimension, depth. It creates the appearance of natural bone structure in the eye area, the kind that is associated with youth and with genuinely beautiful eyes. People will not be able to identify what is different about your eyes. They will just know that they look exceptional. We are almost at the finish line. And I want you to know, everything you have learned in this video so far, the prep, the color selection, the dot technique, the transition shade, that is already more than most women over 50 have ever been taught in one sitting. But we are not done yet, because there are still 3 things left that will take everything you just learned and make it work even harder for your specific face. So stay with me. The best part of this video is right here. Step 5. The inner corner highlight. The closest thing to a free eye lift you will ever find. I want you to think about what happens to the eye area as we get older. The inner corner of the eye, that small triangular space right where your upper and lower lids meet near your nose, starts to look darker, more shadowed, more sunken. It is one of the first places that fatigue shows up on a mature face, and it is one of the most overlooked areas in any makeup routine. Most women put all their focus on the outer eye and completely ignore the inner corner. And that is a significant missed opportunity. Here's what you're going to do. Take a champagne, soft pearl, or warm ivory highlight. And it does not need to be sparkly. In fact, for daytime, a satin or matte highlight works better than a glittery one because glitter on mature skin can sit in fine lines and draw attention to texture rather than away from it. Using your ring finger, always your ring finger in this delicate area, gently pat that highlight into the inner corner of your eye. Do not sweep it. Do not blend it aggressively. Pat it. Small, gentle pressing motions until the color is seamlessly placed. Now look at your eye. Look at what just happened. That inner corner is now catching light. It is brighter. It is more open. The entire eye looks like it shifted forward rather than receding into shadow. This is not a subtle difference. This is one of those changes that happens in real time, and it makes you put the brush down and just stare at yourself for a moment. Now take that same highlight and add the tiniest amount, and I mean the smallest amount, directly under your brow bone at the highest point of your natural arch, pat it in gently. What this does is create the optical illusion of a higher, more lifted brow bone. And a higher brow bone is one of the facial features most strongly associated with youth. You are not changing your bone structure. You are using light to suggest it. And light does not lie in the way that harsh makeup does. Light looks natural because it is natural. We're just directing it. The rule with highlighting is that if you can see it as a separate product sitting on your skin, you have used too much. It should not announce itself. It should just make people think your eyes look extraordinarily bright and awake without being able to explain exactly why. That is the goal. That is the standard. Subtle enough to look effortless. Intentional enough to make a real difference. Let's talk about your specific eye shape, because here's where most tutorials completely abandon you. They show you one version of a technique and expect it to work identically on every single eye shape that exists. And that is simply not how faces work. So let me speak directly to you, wherever you are in this. If you have hooded eyes, and a significant number of women over 50 do, your number one priority is that transition shade we just talked about. Without it, your liner will disappear every single time regardless of how well you apply it. Keep your liner dots very thin and precise. Apply them with your eyes open and looking straight ahead into the mirror, not with your eyes closed. When your eyes are closed, the lid flattens out, and you end up applying liner to a surface that changes shape the moment you open up. Designed for the eye as it actually appears in the world. Open. If you have deep-set eyes, your eyes already carry natural shadow and depth. You do not need to create more of it. Go very light on a liner. Use a maximum of 3 or 4 dots of the outer lash line only. Prioritize the inner corner highlight above everything else, because that brightness is what will bring your eyes forward and make them more prominent. The transition shade should be extremely subtle or skipped entirely. If you have downward eyes, meaning the outer corners of your eyes angle slightly downward, start your liner dots from the center of the lid moving outward, and angle the final 1 or 2 dots very slightly upward at the outer corner. Even 1 millimeter of upward angle changes the entire impression of the eye shape. Also add your highlight, not just to the inner corner, but to the outer corner as well. Lifting both ends of the eye optically corrects the downward angle without any invasive procedure. If you have round eyes, extend your liner dots in your transition shade, just slightly past the outer corner of the eye. Elongating the eye shape creates the appearance of an almond eye, which is naturally associated with a more defined, sculpted look. Do not extend dramatically, just enough to suggest length. If you have almond eyes, the base technique works beautifully for you with minimal adjustment. Focus on perfecting your blend and your highlight placement, and you will see stunning results every single time. What is your eye shape? Hooded, deep set, downturned, round, or almond? Tell me, because I am planning next month's content right now, and I want to build entire dedicated videos around the eye shapes that this community needs most. Your comment is not just engagement. It is directly shaping what I create for you. So tell me your eye shape below. Right now, I will be reading every single one. The 5 mistakes that are still aging your eyes, even with the right technique. You now have the full technique, but I would be doing you a disservice if I let you walk away without addressing the 5 mistakes that will quietly undo all of this work, even when you're doing everything else right. So listen carefully. Mistake number 1, lining your waterline with dark liner. Your waterline is the inner rim of your lower lid, the wet edge right above your lower lashes. Applying dark liner there closes the eye down completely. It reduces the visible white of your eye and makes you look significantly more tired and older than you are. Replace it with a nude or white pencil on the waterline instead. It creates the opposite effect. It makes the eye look larger, brighter, and more open. This one swap alone can take years off your appearance instantly. Mistake number 2, using old or dried out liner. Any pencil liner that is more than 12 months old needs to go. Old liner drags across the skin instead of gliding, and dragging on mature skin, especially around the eye, causes micro-pulling that over time contributes to more fine lines in that area. Beyond that, old liner simply does not perform the way fresh liner does. It skips, it crumbles, it applies unevenly. Replace it. Your eyes are worth a fresh pencil. Mistake number 3, matching your liner to your outfit or your eyeshadow. Your liner color is determined by one thing, and one thing only, your eye color. We covered this in depth earlier in this video. Your outfit is irrelevant to your liner choice. Your eyeshadow is secondary. The liner serves the eye. Full stop. Every single time you reach for a liner pencil, ask yourself one question. Does this color make my eye color look more vivid? If the answer is yes, it is the right choice. Mistake number 4, skipping lower lash definition entirely. A lot of women over 50 avoid doing anything under the lower lash line because they are afraid it will look harsh or emphasize under eye texture. And that fear is valid if you're using liner under the eye. But if you take your transition shade, that same soft taupe or mushroom we use on the lid, and use a very small brush to press just a whisper of it along the outer half of the lower lash line and blend it downward softly, it completes the eye in a way that nothing else does. It balances the upper definition and makes the entire eye look intentional and finished rather than half done. Mistake number 5, quitting after one attempt. This is the most important one. This technique will not feel completely natural the first time you do it. It might not even feel natural the second time. But by the third time, every woman I have ever taught this to says the same thing. It clicks. It becomes intuitive. Your hand knows where to go. Your eye knows how much to blend. Give it 3 full attempts before you form any opinion about whether it works for you. 3. Not 1. Not 2. 3. The women who email me and tell me this technique changed how they see themselves in the mirror. Every single one of them tried it at least 3 times first. Here's what you now know that most women over 50 don't. You know that prep is not optional. It is the foundation everything else sits on. You know that black liner is not your default anymore. Your eye color determines your liner color. You know that you're creating a shadow, not drawing a line. And that distinction is everything. You know that the transition shade is what keeps your liner visible all day on a hooded or mature eye. You know that the inner corner highlight is the single fastest way to look more awake, more youthful, and more radiant without spending $1 on skincare. And you know the 5 mistakes that silently undo all of it. That is not a small amount of knowledge. That is a complete transformation in how you approach your eye makeup. And it costs nothing extra. It uses tools you already own or can find for under $15. And it works. The very first time you try it, even imperfectly, you will see a difference. If the eyeliner video gave you this much, next week's video is going to hit even harder. Make sure you are subscribed and make sure the notification bell is turned on because YouTube will not always show you new videos automatically. The bell guarantees it. And one final thing before you go, share this video. Right now, think about one woman in your life, a sister, a friend, a mother, a colleague, who's been struggling with her eye makeup and does not know why it stopped working for her. Send her this video because the information in here is exactly what she needs, and she deserves to have it just as much as you do. Sharing costs you nothing, and it means everything to the women in your life who need this. This community exists because women like you show up, engage, share, and support each other. I do not take that lightly. Every single comment, every subscription, every share, it tells me that what we are doing here matters. And it does matter, because you matter. Your confidence matters. The way you feel when you look in the mirror every single morning matters more than any algorithm or any view count ever will. I will see you next week, and I cannot wait.